Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Pawn Master. In today's video, as promised, we will learn about some new chess openings. So now let's head to the video. Hello everyone. In this video, we will be learning our first opening, Ruy Lopez. This is a basic and very simple opening. And in this video we will be also learning its variations, and we will analyze this opening on the chessboard and understand how it plays out further in the game. So now, as you can see here, this is how Ruy Lopez is spelled: Ruylopez. It is also called as the Spanish opening or the Spanish game, and it is characterized by the moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop to b5. Now, as the openings are diversified or classified into white and black openings, this is a type of white opening, and these openings are further classified into aggressive and defensive openings. This is an defensive opening, but further in some variations it gets changed and becomes an aggressive opening. So now first we will go on the chessboard and arrange this basic foundation on the chessboard. Now on the chessboard we will play these moves: e4, e5, knight f3. Now to defend this pawn, this knight will move over here, this and this bishop to b5. As you can see here, Ruy Lopez opening. Now this is a basic structure of the Ruy Lopez opening. Now let's go and study some variations, like how it will play out further in the game. Now we will see these variations. Now there is this exchange variation. Exchange variation means that bishop into c6, that the bishop will capture that knight. As you can see here, this bishop will capture this knight. And now after this bishop captures the knight, like before that something black will play, like this knight over here to defend this knight and take its place, or something like this to attack this pawn. These are some variations what black can play. Now black can even play this, attacking this, and see, attacking this bishop. Now there are various choices for black. Now if we see anything, like if you think something like this is played, it is like opening an exchange variation. So this is one type of that exchange variation. There are variations in this chess game, in these chess openings. So this is an type of, you can say, a variation of the exchange variation. But if you see, most oftenly in the exchange variation, you can say this move is played. In this also it is exchanged, but it's like a casual defense because the knight takes place of that knight. But when you see over here, this pawn or this pawn will have to capture it. This is a traditional exchange variation. Like this pawn captures it, so it will be a double pawn, or even this, it will be a double pawn. Now let's see some further variation. Now on the chessboard, you can see the next variation is the Norwegian defense, like bishop to a4, then bishop to that pawn to b5, bishop to b3, and na5. Now these moves are after that pawn to a3. I will show you. After this pawn over here is moved to a6, a6. These moves are after that. Now this bishop will not exchange, it will not be an exchange variation. You saw this bishop comes to a4, and after that b5, further attacking the bishop. Now the bishop will have to move behind to b3, and now knight to a5. You can see here Norwegian variation. This is the Norwegian defense attacking the bishop. Now, as you can see here, the bishop can also be exchanged, but here the black will not have a like double pawn. Instead, white will have a double pawn. So here, when you see, you can play this move, but when you play this move, this pawn would come here, and now this bishop would have to go back here, and it will end in an exchange only. You can see this and this, or you can move this, but if you move this, the rook gets an open rank. Semi-open rank means black has its pawn but white doesn't, and these all four pawns would still be connected. Instead, if you play this pawn, like you can see, this pawn will remain alone. So this is a variation, the Norwegian defense. Now let's head and see some more variations. As you can see here, it is the modern Steinitz defense. Oh, I'm sorry. First, we will see the variations combining a6. As you can see here, this black plays a6 as I said, and bishop c5. Now here we will see black will play a6 and then bishop to c5. Now first we will get this move back, a6. Now if the bishop comes back, bishop to c5. Now this is also an variation, which both of those variations are combined. And instead of this, if this bishop captures this and then this comes, it will be an advantage to white. So you can't play this in the exchange variation, but you can play this in a type of Norwegian defense once the bishop goes back. Now let's see what is the other variations. Now we will see the modern Steinitz defense. Here you can see it is bishop to a4 and then d6, which means white will play bishop to a4. After that attack of a6, now let's head to the chessboard. We are seeing one variation over here, going to the chessboard, analyzing it, and then coming back and seeing the other variation. Now we will see this bishop will go back to a4 after this attack, and unlike the Norwegian defense, in this it will be played d6. And now when black plays d6, it is defending or giving another defense to this pawn. But in exchange of it, you can see this knight is getting pinned. As learned in the previous video, is getting pinned and the king is behind. So to remove the pin, this bishop can come over here, or something like this pawn will come over here. Like the Norwegian defense, just this move is different. But if this bishop captures this knight, this pawn will have to capture this bishop to equalize the position. And see, and here you can see this is an pawn which is left alone at the side, which brings the positional advantage to white. And there is also these double pawns with a liability for black, cause in double pawn the previous pawn can't move until the pawn ahead of it moves. So now let's see another variation, and it was the modern Steinitz defense, as you can see here. Now let's go and see one more variation. Next variation is the Chiliman defense deferred. Now here bishop to a4, but then comes f5 instead of d6, or that b5. So now let's see, bishop to a4, then f6. Now here on the chessboard, bishop to a4, and now f5. Now this f5 is like an offer for this pawn to capture this pawn, and it is like a sacrifice. And after this knight would come here, and eventually after some time or in the game, as you can see here, white has a double pawn here over here, and this pawn is without any support, so it might get captured after something like this. Instead of this knight, you can play something like this, attacking this pawn. But as the last you saw modern Steinitz variation, it's just like that, but f5 is played and this pawn has captured f5, and now this pawn is under attack. To save this pawn, something like this can be played. Now after this has been played, it's bringing an type of a positional disadvantage. Like these two pawns are left behind, this pawn is supporting this pawn and double pawn. So now if you go deeper in the game, something like this can be played from black. Now even this pawn is under attack, something like this, and it will result into a pawn chain. But now when you see these two pawns are busy in just supporting that pawn, and that is bringing a little bit of positional disadvantage to white. So now let's head and see some more variations. Now there are only two variations left. These are the more important or these major variations. The next is the Mackenzie variation. After a6, all these moves are after a6. Bishop to a4, knight f6 and d4. Now let's study the Mackenzie variation. So now here on the chessboard, in every variation after this, bishop comes back is played. In the exchange variation, the bishop captures this knight. Now this bishop to a4, and now it is knight to f6. It's like attacking this pawn. Now this knight can be played over here to defend the pawn, but we'll see what is in the opening. This opening, it is d4. As you can see, d4 is played like if something like this happens, it captures, this knight comes over here. There is a double attack, like two pieces are attacking that one piece after this and this. This would make white gain control of the center, but it will give a little bit of disadvantage to white, a positional disadvantage, not about the pieces. Or if black doesn't capture this pawn, this pawn can be played over here and attack this knight. Or if instead of that something like this happens, knight captures this, and here it would be this attack. Now let's go back and see the last variation of today. Now this last variation is the Steinitz defense Deffered. In this is bishop a4, knight f6, and then white castle and d6. Now let's see what happens. As you can see here, bishop will go back to a4, this knight will come to f6, and white will castle itself and save and secure its king. And now black will play d6. See, Deffered Steinitz defense. Now it's just like the modern defense when it was being played d6, but it's a little bit differed by playing this knight over here, and white has castle. That's why it is the Steinitz defense but Deffered. It's a different defense. So now when you see this, it's just like that. This knight is pinned, just like the modern Steinitz defense. Something like this will have to play, or this bishop will have to come, or this can just capture this and this would happen. And now this would give a slight positional advantage to white. So now I hope that you have understood all of these openings and its variations. In the next video, we will bring a new opening and this opening will be for black. So I hope you like my videos, and if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe and press that bell icon to receive updates on the upcoming videos. Thank you.